In this training video, I'm going to show you how to complete a DSA 102 form. Now, after you find the form on the DSA website, the first thing you're going to want to do is mark whether the form's been completed by the architect engineer responsible for the project or by the school district. So make sure you click one of the two. Next is you're going to enter the school district. So let's put Compton Unified School District. And then you're going to enter their file number, so 19-36. Next, the school name. What's the school name of the project? We are going to put Longfellow. And the DSA A number. You pick the regional office, put the A number that you have. I'm just making one up. Then the project name. What is the district calling this project? This one, I'm going to say it's a fire alarm project. The CDS number, if you have it. The date of the DSA 102 submittal. So in this box, you're going to put the date that you're submitting this form to DSA. Next is the construction date. So let me go back and put the date, 9/30/19. And the construction start date's going to be, 10/15/19. The contracted amount. Next, submitted by. Now, this is really important because when it's submitted by, it needs to be who's emailing that form. So, for example, let's say this form is submitted by the architect, but he's having his assistant or her assistant submit the form, or same thing, the school district, but someone else is submitting it. That person's name needs to be in here. So, for example, when we work on projects with architects or construction managers and school districts, they want us to submit this to them. So I will put my name in here and then my phone number and my email. Now, if they want to have their info in there, when I send this form, I can put, I am Natasha Knutson sending this on behalf of so-and-so. So again, that's really important you get that correct because we've had DSA kick that back a couple times. Number of attached pages, list that if there is any. If there's not, then enter 0. Now, let's see. For initial submittal, complete sections 1 through 5. Okay, so this box right here, check this box if amending the original or previously submitted. So what this is sometimes after you've submitted a 102 form, someone on the team might be like, hey, I need you to add so-and-so to have viewer upload rights. Or, this project team member is no longer on here. We need to add this person instead. This is where you would click the box and then add whoever is being added to the 102 form. So that's what that's used for. Now, let's see. Section 2, scope of work for this construction project. Section A, check this box if the scope of work includes any sites, including non-building sites or structures. Long story short, if it's just one site, one structure, you're going to click that box. Now, section B is if it's at one site, but there's numerous buildings, you would put under here all of the buildings that they're going to be working on. For example, shade structure, admin building, multi-purpose building, etc. Then box C, let's see, check this box if there's a scope of work shown on the DSA approved plans or DSA project application that is not included. So you would list that there. Now, project phasing. Will the items indicated above be in future phases, yes or no? And number of anticipated phases, you would list that. Next is section 3, listing project participants. This is very important. District owner. They want the district owner only to be listed on here. You cannot list a consultant or a construction manager or project manager. It has to be a district employee. District owner of who it is, their contact name, their title, email, and phone number. Next is design professional, general, responsible, in charge. Firm name goes here, very important, but you need to list the name, the email, their license, and phone number. Now, it's the person who's in general responsible on the DSA 1. That's who you're going to list. Now, sometimes there's 2, but majority of the time there's only 1. Next is the project inspector, the DSA 5 approval date. The date the DSA field engineer signed off and approved it goes here. Their phone number, email, DSA certification. If you have implant, you're going to list the same exact thing. General contractor. Now, for this part, If you have just one contractor or a general contractor, you're going to put their name, the license of the type they have. So like if they're a general B, you're going to list their general B license right here. The name, the email, the phone number. Now, if you have a multi-prime and numerous contractors, you can list one here, and then I'll show you in the next section where you list the other contractors. Lab of record, very important if there is testing and inspection required, which majority of the time there is. You list their LEA number, which you can find on DSA Tracker. Next is the license. So every lab of record has a manager that has their license that signs off on the DSA 291 and 293s. That is the person that's going to be listing their license right there. Their name, email, and phone number. Geotechnical lab, same thing. Put the lab name, the LEA number, which you can find on Tracker, their name, email, license, and phone. Now, section 4, project delivery method. Design, bid, build, click whichever one. If you're not sure, ask the district, ask the architect of what it is. Next is section 5. This is very important. Now, whoever you listed in section 1 and in section 3, you do not need to add them again in section 5. Again, because design professional was already on part 1. Now, here's who you do need to add, because they're not in part 1, is the structural, mechanical, and electrical, if there is one. If there is, you need to make sure you put their firm name, email, license. And this is the one where they have to be on the DSA 1 required. If they're not on the DSA 1, you don't list them here. Let's see. Architect or structural for observation of in-plant. Again, if there's in-plant required, relocatables, you would list that. Same thing, observation of site. Architect, engineer, project folder, collaborators. Again, you're not going to list the architect that you originally listed or the engineers, but let's say you're an architect and you have a project manager who's the one who's going to be managing the project most of the time. You'd put their name, email, view, or view upload. Now, view is they only have permission to view that box, that section, but view upload means they can view and upload forms on the architect's behalf. Next is school district owner. Again, section 1, because you list the school district owner, you do not need to list them again here unless they want to add a project manager that works for the district who will be view or view upload. Project inspector, if you already have him in the section above, you don't need to add him or her again. But if there's someone at the office that does a lot of the administrative work for them, you can list them here. DSA really wants only the main people that are approved. Like if it's the project inspector, they want the project inspector uploading their forms, not anyone else. But again, if that's an issue, put that right there. Lab of record, if there's administrative who uploads the 291 or the 293s, you can add them here. General contractor, again, if it's on the first page, you do not need to list them here. Prime contractors, this is where we spoke. If it's a multi-prime, you would list every single contractor on this part and their license and phone and email. Next is special inspectors not employed by the lab of record. So sometimes the district hires special inspectors directly. If that's the case, you're going to list all of their information in here. Now, request for additional project folder collaborators. Let's say you have a consultant on the team and you need someone else who really doesn't fit in the boxes above. Like, for example, PSS, we do a lot of quality control, quality assurance. We don't fit in those boxes above, but we do fit here. So we will put our name, email, phone, folder of what we need access to. For example, we need access to all the folders to view. So folder, we put all and then view. Now here's what DSA is really not going to accept, and this is just from experience. They're not going to accept if you put folder, all, view, upload, because they're like, no, you shouldn't be uploading for the architect or, you know, the general contractor. Like only they should have access to do that. So sometimes if you list that incorrectly, DSA might come back and kick it back. Last but not least, select the regional office this needs to go to, and then you email this to them. If you have any questions, I highly recommend contacting DSA. We had questions in the beginning and they were more than happy to walk us through this. I hope you learned something new. If you have any comments or questions, let us know. We'd be more than happy to assist.